All right, all right. Hey, good afternoon. This is James Donaldson from Your Gift of Life Foundation, but also Standing Above the Crowd podcast. All right, I'm coming to you live today just to talk to you a little bit more about what I elaborated on last week, my introductory show, which was basically a reintroduction of myself here in the Seattle area and all the things I've been doing over the last 40 plus years. Coming over here from Washington State University and after graduation in 1979, playing with the Seattle Supersonics from 1980 to 83, and then on to several other NBA teams around the country and European teams around the world. That was a quick reintroduction of me. Seattle became home at that point, and I bought my home back in 1981 when I was with the Sonics, and have been here ever since. Just love the area, love the Northwest. Originally from Sacramento, California, didn't know anything about the Northwest or Seattle growing up in Sac, but once I got up here, fell in love with it, and have never left. And so I've been here throughout those years, being a small business owner with the Donaldson Clinic, 1989 to 2018. So about 28, 29 years we ran that clinic with multiple locations up and down the I-5 corridor. Very involved with mentoring, education, our youth, all kind of different things like that. So anything to help our children is really what I am all about and try to get involved with. And this is so important. But today, what I wanted to touch on with, especially with my foundation work I do, Your Gift of Life Foundation, is I go around the state of Washington, and well, almost every time I drive, drive even 4 or 5 hours across the state to different middle schools and high schools to speak to our young people about mental health awareness, and suicide prevention. We have big school assemblies, 600 kids at times, or sometimes little small rural schools with 100 kids. But it doesn't matter. Kids are kids all over the world, and they have gone through some really, really tough times, especially since the pandemic, the shutdowns, the lockdowns, the wearing of masks, schools being closed, not being able to associate with their friends and play with their friends freely. And they became seriously, seriously addicted to social media during that time. I mean, they're already getting into it before then, 2020. But during that time, they really became seriously addicted to it, and it's becoming a big, big problem now. We are probably more connected than ever before with the advent of social media and technology. We are just a text message, phone call away from anywhere in the world. Remember back in the day where we had to pay per minute even to call to the East Coast, right? And we used to wait till after 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. to make sure the rates were a little bit lower. But those days are long gone. Now you can pick up the phone, you can talk to anybody all over the world for the same monthly plan that you might be on with your cell phone. It doesn't really matter. So we're more connected than ever before, but at the same time, we are more isolated and more lonely than ever before. And this really, really affects our kids because for kids, childhood is that developmental time where they are growing with their social skills, their physical abilities, their mental development. Everything is really rapidly developing during those early teen years, probably from 12 to 25, 26, 30 years old. Those young people are really developing everything they're going to need to get through the rest of this life. And so what I do is really go out and try to help them understand that, life is not always going to be a bowl full of cherries, they call it, right? You're going to have some ups and downs. I tell people when I compare it to my NBA basketball seasons, where we play 82 games, and nobody's ever gone 82 and 0. You're going to win a few. On a good team, you're going to win a lot, and you're going to lose a few. And on a bad team, you're going to lose a lot. So you have to be able to deal with those ups and downs that come along with life. And that's what one thing our young people don't really quite understand yet because they haven't been through that many adverse situations in their life when they're only 10, 12, 14 years old. So I prepare them for those kind of things. But if they have gone through some tough times, I want to make sure that they understand that, hey, I've gone through tough times. Most people that they know, especially grown-ups, have gone through tough times, but we've made it through. We've learned how to keep our nose to the grindstone, how to reach out for help and ask for help when we need it. And so, what I wanted to do is just kind of give you a little showing of my school presentation that I typically talk to about the kids. I want to start out with a kind of a slide after slide. The first slide is talking about our 2 months of the year that we really tend to celebrate mental health. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. Okay. I mean, everybody talks about it. A lot of PSAs, commercials, a lot of your corporations will talk about Mental Health Awareness Month. They're giving accolades and recognition to the fact that, hey, we need to pay attention to this kind of thing. September, coming up in a couple months, is National Suicide Prevention Month. And that's another big month that we need to really pay attention to. In this country alone, we have about 50,000 suicides every single year. 50,000. 80% of those are men, boys and men. 80% make up that 50,000. And it's really a tragedy that we are losing so many young people when it doesn't have to be. All they have to do is ask for help, realize they need help, and go on and get the help that they can find. Let's go on to slide number 2. When I get out and talk to these kids, you'll see me wearing these big message shirts all over the place. I got one on here in the gray shirt. You are not alone. When you're going through mental health challenges, you feel like you almost feel like the scum of the earth. I know I did. And if you know my story, you can pull it down from YouTube. There's a 4-minute video up there called The Big Man's Hurt. Okay. And it tells my story really, really well of what I went through and had to battle through and get myself back on my feet again. I felt like the scum of the earth. I felt like I was all alone. I felt like nobody loved me, nobody cared about me, nobody was going to miss me. And that's how you feel when you're in the midst of all of that. But it's so not true. And I know you can't see it when you're in the middle. I couldn't see it either. But when you get out of that, you can finally realize that, wow, it's so good that I have people in my life to take care of me and help me through. Another shirt I like to wear is You Matter. We live in a world where everything and everybody seems to matter about us, but you matter. You matter more importantly than anything else. And society now with all these politically charged messages, Black Lives Matter, Blue Lives Matter, Trans Lives Matter, all of those things do matter, but you matter most of all. And once you take care of yourself, you can be able to get yourself through any situation that you might be going through. Let's look at our next slide. Mental health comes in a variety of different shapes, sizes, and colors, and it's not a one size fits all. Everybody is going to be impacted by something throughout the course of their life. My old pastor used to say, if you haven't had tough times yet, just keep on living, and he lived to about 92 years old. And at the end, he was in a wheelchair. He was totally dependent on people to feed him, people to change him, people to take care of him. And that's what he used to tell us. If you haven't had tough times yet, just keep on living. So even if you get through this life without a broken bone or a serious injury or medical issue or financial issue, when you get 90, 95, 100 years old, that's going to be a tough time. And you're going to have to depend on a lot of people to help you. But look at this. Mental health comes in a variety of different ways. Anxiety, PTSD, stress, phobias, all kind of different things that can affect people. Bipolar dispositions, all kind of obsessive compulsive behaviors. So these are all mental health classifications. And I like to just talk to folks that, hey, no matter what you're going through, there's help available for you, but you got to be able to realize that you need help, you want help, and you're going to get the help that you need. Our next slide is this. You look at this big word bubble here. What's the first thing that jumps out at you? Suicide, right? 50,000 every single year. But these other big words are pretty big words too. Addiction, stress, mental health, suicidal, okay? All kinds of medicines, poisons. I mean, this is a bundle of words that really all can affect our mental well-being. And the number one that we're talking about today is suicide. And so I don't want anybody ever to get themselves to that point that they feel like life is just not worth living anymore, because it is. And that's why my foundation is named Your Gift of Life Foundation, because life is the most precious gift that we have. And when you throw it away, there's no coming back. It's not like a video game where you have a reset button, a do-over button. You don't. You don't. If you throw it away, there's no coming back. So make sure you don't get to that point where you start thinking about those kind of things, because it's a tough, tough journey. I went through it myself. 12 months of pure darkness and hell, 2018. Took me 12 months to work through all that, but I made it back. And now I've devoted my life to sharing these things with you. Big old tough, strong James goes through that kind of stuff. Anybody can go through it, right? And I made it through, and anybody can make it through. Let's look at the next slide. This is what I really wanted to stress to our young people today: kids and mental illness. 1 out of 5 of our kids right now, 20% of them have a mental health problem going on. Okay? Doesn't mean it's going to be lasting forever. It might just be a bad day or a bad weekend or a bad week. They might be being bullied at school. They might be having trouble with their family, with their friends, being teased, not being included. We people, we are very social animals. We want to be included. We want to be social. We need to have friends and be with each other. But when you are excluded, you're not included. That plays havoc on a young mind, especially. And so this is why we're talking about these things today. There's a 43% increase in ADHD. Now they're trying to get into all this with our diet, with our food sources, with all the additives, all the chemicals, the environmental. It can be a whole host of things. But now, you know, and we have better diagnoses now. We can detect things better than we did 50 years ago. But 43% of kids have ADHD. And before you run and jump on a prescribed medication, try getting some counseling. Try talking to some professionals who can help you in a more natural way to work your way through that kind of thing. A 37% increase in teen depression. Our kids are depressed. Okay. It's a tough, tough going trying to be a teenager out in today's world. All the conflicting messages, politically, culturally, racially, societal, class warfare. I mean, all kind of stuff going on. It's tough being a kid, and you kids need to have somebody to talk to. If you can't talk to your parent, talk to your neighbor, talk to your neighbors, talk to your friends' parents. You know, if you go down and hang out with your friend, talk to your friend's parents sometime. Talk to your coaches. Talk to your counselors at school. Talk to your pastor at church. There's so many good people in your life you don't even realize, but you got to reach out to them in order to make sure you get the help you need. And there's a 100% increase in suicide for kids 10 to 14 years of age. For the love of God, I can't understand why a 10-year-old would think about throwing their life away. I mean, they haven't even begun to live yet, and they're having those kind of thoughts. And so we need to be sure that we're there for each other no matter what. Let's go to the next slide here. Overall, there's about 12 million adults who thought about suicide at some point every year. Every year. There's 1.5 million adults who made a plan. Now, I was in that first group. I was in that second group. There's 1.7 million adults who attempted suicide. Thank God I was not in that group. Whoa, I don't need to be walking around with, you know, scars on my wrists where I try to cut my wrists, or a rope burn around my neck where I tried to hang myself, or shotgun to my abdomen where I tried to shoot. I don't need those kind of lifelong scars to remind me. I've got enough mental scars reminding me of what I went through. And the same with you. If you can help it, please don't ever get to that point. 4 or 5 times more women attempt suicide than men. Did you know that? 4 or 5 times more. Men tend to be more lethal with their means. Men, there's an overabundance of guns in society. Men will pick up a gun and do away with themselves. They'll do things like, for sure enough, will get the job done. Women tend to rely on pills, sleeping pills, maybe alcohol, things that aren't necessarily lethal. I mean, they may knock you out for a while, but chances are if you're in good form, good overall general health, you'll probably recover if somebody comes and saves you in time. Uh, but either way, let's make sure that we don't have to go through all of that because those are lifelong scars you can't get through. Our next slide is this here. Uh, what 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 do you do if you have thoughts of hurting yourself? Okay, right now, trying to get in to see a mental health professional counselor, it's going to take you a good 4 to 6 months before you even get your first appointment. They'll say, "Okay, James, let's see the schedule here. It's July. We'll see you in December. Can you hang on that long?" Whoa, it's a long way. All right, so here's some things that you can do while you're waiting to get help from a professional. Reach out to somebody you trust. Okay, all of us need to have 1 or 2 or 3 good friends in our life. A friend you can call any time of day or night. Okay, and just say, "Hey, I'm going through some tough times. I need somebody to talk to. Will you help me? Will you be there for me?" And a good friend will be there for you. Seek professional help. This is what I mean. Call for that appointment, even if it's 6 months out. Get yourself on the books so you can get in and see professional help. Safety precautions. Don't have things laying around that are going to be tempting to you when you're in that impulsive mindset of wanting to hurt yourself. If you have guns in the house, get rid of those guns. If you have alcohol in the house, get rid of that alcohol. Drugs in the house, get rid of those drugs. Okay. You've got to do that because then it makes you take an extra step to go down to the store to buy whatever it is that you might want to hurt yourself. You get time to think then. But if you don't have time to think, you become very impulsive when you're having these mental health challenges. And so I want to make sure that that's a step removed from you. Create a support network. Okay. Make sure you have a group of friends around you. And also your family, your neighbors, everybody knew what I was going through and I was going through what I went through. Okay. Because I told everybody. And I said, "Hey, I need you to check in on me 2 or 3 times a week. And I need you to be able to allow me to call you at 2 in the morning if I have to." And all my friends say, "Yes, hey man, we're right here for you." Develop coping skills. Okay, make sure that you figure out a way, and with your help of your support network, of how you're going to cope in those tough days that are coming, that you're going through. Make sure you educate yourself. This is what we're doing today, educating ourselves about mental health and suicide prevention. Build resilience, okay? Read books, deepen your faith. Make sure that you are strong. You got that fortitude to get through tough times. Tough times don't last always, okay? And tomorrow is a better day, but you got to get through today. And make sure you develop a safety plan, okay? Who's going to call who and who's going to do what just in case you do something to yourself. Make sure you have a plan in place. And that way they can put that plan in motion quickly, get there, resuscitate you, save your life, and get you back on your feet again. And the last thing here, it's not highlighted on this slide, is that remember, reaching out for help is a sign of strength, not a sign of weakness. Okay? Remember that. Even big, tough guys like us, it's a sign of strength to ask for help. And we got to be able to do that. Next slide here. Uh, what are some things you can do right now to strengthen your mental health? Well, spend time with your friends. Okay. We are not spending time with friends like we normally need to, and like we used to do before all these crazy smartphones came around. Go out for a walk. Walk your dog. Walk with your neighbor in the neighborhood. 10, 15, 20 minutes every day. Just socialize more. Limit your social media use. There's studies shows right now that teenagers are spending up to 12 hours a day on social media. 12 hours. Man, I mean, you got to sleep 6 or 8 hours, don't you? You got to eat a couple hours. You got to go to school for 6 hours. That's your whole day. You're not getting anything done. And social media can be so detrimental, especially to young girls. Young girls really get impacted by social media because they see other young girls on there that have this perfect life that they've shaped and they created. They go through all the beauty cams. They got the perfect figure, the perfect clothes, the perfect makeup. And that's not real. But young girls think that's real. And that's what they try to be like. And so don't get influenced by that social media stuff. Get regular exercise. Okay, I know all of us are still working on that COVID pounds we call it, trying to get those pounds off of us. Get out there and exercise. Learn to forgive, especially yourself. I know we are so hard on each other. We're so hard on ourselves, trying to keep up with the Joneses, trying to live up to everybody else's expectations. But learn to live for you and be happy with you. Get the sleep you need. Studies show we need a good 8 hours of sleep every single night. This is when your brain recharges. This is when your body recharges. If you're young, this is when your body is growing. Those growth hormones are kicking in at nighttime. You're getting bigger, you're getting stronger, you're growing into your maturity. So you need that sleep, especially when you're young. Let go of unhealthy relationships. Okay, if you're in a bad relationship, get rid of it. Get rid of it. Don't make excuses for him or her that, they'll get better, they'll be better next time, they won't treat me so bad next time. No, no. If it's a bad relationship, get rid of it. And then go out and find a good, healthy relationship for yourself. Become a pet owner. Having a pet is one of the most beneficial, therapeutic things you can do because that pet is so unconditionally loving you and caring for you that you will cherish that pet, and he or she, that pet, will cherish you just as well, and always, always, always be happy to see you. Get outside is another one with exercise. Change your negative self-talk. Make sure that you are talking to yourself in a positive manner. Instead of telling yourself, I can't do this, I can't do that, tell yourself, I can do it, I will do it, and I'm going to be the best I can be. And the last one on this list is laugh and laugh often. Laughter is still the best medicine for all of us, making sure that we laugh at life, laugh at ourselves. Laughter releases those good feel endorphins in your brain that make the world feel better, make you seem like things are much better. So laugh and laugh often. Next slide. How to help somebody in a crisis. What would you do if a friend came to you and said, "Hey, I don't think I'm going to be here tomorrow." Whoa. Or I'm thinking about hurting myself. What would you do? Well, here are some steps that you must take. Act, act quickly. Act quickly. Because when somebody tells you that they're thinking about hurting themselves, they think the world's going to be better off without them. They are serious. They're serious. They're not joking. Act quickly. Reach out to them and keep on reaching out. Don't just make a one-time phone call, leave a voicemail. No, no, no. Keep on calling until you get a hold of them. Don't just shoot them a text. Drop by the house and see how they're doing. Be patient and be honest with your concerns. Ask them, are you thinking about hurting yourself? Are you thinking about ending your life? Are you thinking about suicide? You got to be direct with people who are in a crisis because they'll find a way to finagle around your little question and not answer it, and you'll never really know. So make sure you ask the question and get the answers you know. Don't shy away from direct questions. Ask yourself, do you plan on killing yourself? Or ask that person. Express support. Call 988. your national hotline for suicide. It's 24 hours, 7 days a week. 988 is the number. And call 911 if you feel like that person might be in a serious danger for themselves. Our next slide is really the big numbers I just mentioned. Suicide Prevention Lifeline. They had a long number before, nobody could ever remember. A couple years ago, they shortened it to 988. Okay, that will be answered by a real live person, not by a chat bot, not by any of these open AI things. I mean, artificial intelligence. No, no, a real live person will answer that phone 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and answer and talk you down and off that cliff that you might be on, and get you the help you need, even at 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning. Um, and so I wrote a nice little book about all my experiences through this. It's called Celebrating Your Gift of Life. And if you want a personally autographed, personally signed copy, here's a QR code that pops up on your screen, and you can just screen that thing, and it'll take you right to my website and place the order for you. And you can just tell me who you'd like me to sign it off to, and I'll be more than happy to drop it in the mail to you. So that's what I really wanted to talk about today. Working with young people is really my passion, but also working with men is my next passion and will be the next show that we're going to do next week. I really want to thank Rainier Avenue Radio for giving me this platform to be able to share these thoughts and talk to you about something very, very important and very near and dear to me. Uh, wow, it's just been a tremendous journey. And not a day goes by where I don't just thank God that I'm still here. And he left me here for this purpose, this reason, to be able to reach out there and share with you, and maybe to help save lives as well. And so until next week, tune in again next week, next Thursday at 3:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, to Standing Above the Crowd with James Donaldson. I want to say thank you so much. You go out and have a blessed, blessed day. All the best to you. Have a great day. Thank you now.